I didn't like that. And I went back to the admin side. It's my favorite. I've been doing that ever since. I've worked on local teams, I've worked on national expansion teams, so I've seen a little bit of different types of administrative work. So yeah, that's just a little bit about me. And now I work with Chelsea, and I also have a small business where I do listing as well. We're individual agents as they need it. So, are y'all admins as well?
Yes.
Okay, how long have you guys been admins for?
3 weeks.
Welcome.
All right, 3 months. She's like, I'm 3 weeks in.
Okay, so we're both relatively. What did y'all do before you were here?
Well, I've done admin and customer service, just not for real estate. Yeah.
Okay, how about you?
I was in a bakery.
Ooh,
No.
very different.
Yeah.
So what led you to come here?
Well, I've been trying to get into doing real estate. I've been licensed for a few years, and it was really hard for me to try to get my own business going while also working full time at the bakery. And an opportunity opened itself up to work with Eileen, and yeah, now I just get to spend my days learning everything.
Yeah. Well, welcome. It's like drinking from a fire.
Yes, and I'm here for it. I'm thirsty.
That's awesome. It is a lot. But welcome. That's so exciting. So what has been your first impression of it so far, besides this is a lot of information?
This is right up my alley. Yeah.
Do you feel like comfortable with?
Yes, I love lists. I love systems and organization and everything about it. So I'm very detail oriented.
That's great. That's this kind of the job scratches that itch.
Yeah.
Same a lot. But also like, so I see where there's a lot that can be streamlined more. But just still trying to take it all in.
Yeah.
And see where, but because it's not, so working for Amy, it's her business, right?
Yeah.
But so I want to do things the way she wants it.
Right.
But also see where she needs the help, you know.
Yes. So you both work for individual agents?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's awesome. So that makes it a lot easier. You know, you have one person that you're communicating with. So I guess that's what we will start with is communication. How do you feel? What does your communication look like right now with your agent?
Mine's really well. I've known her for a very long time, probably 12, 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
So we were friends first. Mm-hmm. That's kind of been very helpful.
Yeah.
I think.
For you?
Well, I think it's pretty good. I was just making a joke with my friend that if anyone were to look at my call logs and my texts, they would think that I'm obsessed with Eileen because that's all that is going on in my phone right now.
Well, you've both been doing this for a relatively short period of time, so there's a lot of questions. I'm sure that come up as well. Do you have anyone other than your agent that you can communicate with when you have questions?
Yeah, actually, the people here in the office have been very helpful too.
Good.
So when you ask me anything,
when you feel like you're talking with your agent, does it quality and quick conversation, or do you feel like it can often kind of spiral into other topics?
It can definitely spiral with Eileen a little bit. She is a little bit frazzled sometimes, but she kind of warned me coming in. She was like, I'm gonna need your help roping me in. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to learn the ropes before I can rope you in, but I'm there.
Amy's pretty direct and pretty good about answering my questions. If it does spiral, it's because we've naturally moved on to something else. It's usually very helpful though.
Mm-hmm. So. Do you guys know what the DISC profiles are? Have you learned about that yet?
No.
Okay, DISC profiles are going to be super helpful in dealing with your agent and in dealing with your clients. So there's 4 personality types. There's a D, I, S, and C. D's are very dominant, assertive. They like things done yesterday, and they come up with an idea, and that's what they want to do. So they're very direct.
Mm-hmm.
I's are very social, very intuitive. They love people. They are the life of the party people. They are going to want to talk. A lot of rainmakers or lead agents are a high D or a high I.
Yeah.
So that's where those conversations, you know, what I'm talking about, can spiral out of control sometimes because they're just happy to be talking to someone. So knowing your agent's personality can help you learn how to rein them in ways that they don't know that they need all the time.
Mm-hmm.
A high S is someone who's very comforting, caring, oftentimes in client care roles, because they like to be supportive, they're kind of that behind the scenes person. And a high C is very detail oriented. They like checklists, they like systems, they like processes. So oftentimes you'll find that SC personalities work really well in the administrative role. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that's all you can do. You have agents that are high Cs and work with agents that are high Cs, high Ds, and they are exciting people to work with because they want to know everything all the time and they wanted to know about it yesterday.
Yeah.
But it's learning both of your personalities and making sure that your agent also knows your personality so they understand, okay, maybe your rainmaker is having and they are blasting you with things and it can feel almost assertive to like a hurtful point, knowing that this is just them brain dumping right now. This is a common trait of a high D is they spew it all out and they don't think about it. And then you come back later and say, all right, what did this mean? Which of these are important? So learning that, we probably should have a DISC class.
With Regina Bryan.
Regina Bryan is incredible
Regina
at a
has a
DISC
whole
class.
new level of one.
But also on the client care side, getting to know your client's DISC and your agent by going on the appointment should be able to tell you what that is if they know this client. And if they have not taken a DISC class, that's something that's probably good for both of y'all to take together. Because them coming back and saying, okay, this client is a high C, means you need to tell this person every detail under the sun. But they don't really want fluff. They just need to know all of the details. And that's if you have a high I client, you need to ask about their dog, you need to ask about their kids, and that transforms their client experience. But it's very different because you'll have sellers or buyers that are high D that you super friendly to, and they are just cold right back to you because they don't care. They just want to get in their house, and you have to mirror and match that. That can be hard to do if you don't know that off the bat.
Where's that coming from? Because I've heard of that, but in different.
The DISC is a common business personality test.
Okay.
Who's that? Is it Tony Robbins?
Okay.
Yeah, Tony Robbins has a.
It's a free one. It's not as
Yeah.
in depth, but you'll get the gist of it.
Yeah.
But I
It's
really
good for
think it
you
would
to
be beneficial.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. We use it at a high level because it helps us communicate better
Yes.
with everyone.
And that's in our checklists too. What is this client's DISC, and then knowing what our DISCs are as well. And I mean, everybody has, we're all made up of multiple different.
Yeah,
parts. We all
combination, I can
you'll
tell.
see your high D
Yeah.
come out in certain situations and your high S come out in certain situations, but knowing the tendency, it gives grace to people in certain areas, but also you can start to recognize areas where weaknesses might be a thing, like reining in a super high I who has a meeting in 10 minutes, but they're gonna come to the market center and want to talk to everybody and see your dog to get them out the door.
Are you giving clients for this?
No, you just, once you
Oh,
want it,
you just
you
know it
can
that
look
well.
at-
What am I? What am I? You're a DI.
You're absolutely a DI. Do you guys do like powwows with your agent, like a morning stand-up in the morning? How long does that normally take?
We actually probably have a couple a day.
Yeah.
We'll have one in the morning that's probably lasts about 30 minutes.
Okay.
And then, one in the afternoon that probably is about 10, 15. And then at the end of the day, we'll do a recap and see what we need to start with next day.
That's awesome, especially since you're so new to this
Yeah.
too.
That's like
It
ideal.
gives you, yeah, when you're new, that's what you would like, is those to help build the trust. What about you? How often do you have to talk?
Whenever she's available.
Yeah, do you get to every day or? is it
Yeah,
every day?
we've been able to every day, just different times.
Okay.
Like, I just talked to her before I came in here. That was the first time today. But she sends me a lot of emails,
Okay, okay.
a lot of emails.
What is her morning schedule look like usually?
It depends if she can make it in. If she can come in, then she's just here.
Yeah.
But she does a lot of showings in the morning. So I guess it just depends.
I think it'd be really beneficial to have, even over Zoom, a 15-minute powwow of what is your day look like today? What are 2 or 3 things I can take off your plate that need to get done today or by the end of the week?
Yeah.
And just get her, almost like remind her what she needs to do, but also that's where you can start looking ahead and seeing what is she doing that she doesn't. That you
Yeah.
probably should be doing for her, because it's hard when you get a new admin, you don't even know what to leverage all the time first.
Yeah, like you said, brain dump. She makes these little. This was her brain dump last night.
Yeah.
And she doesn't really care if it's like, do this first, this first, this first. She's just like, these are all the things. it's just on my mind, you know, and so we talk about them occasionally, like, and so, I don't know, just, it's working okay.
Yeah.
So far.
Well, and you're taking that time to learn her.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
what is important to her, what is
Yeah.
not as important to her.
Yeah, and she does kind of tell me, this is a priority, this is just when you have time,
Yeah.
kind of things.
Which is great, which is we talked about earlier, important versus urgent.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
everything is important, but not everything.
exactly.
And sometimes even agents feel like something is urgent, it's not urgent, and something else is more urgent. So one of the things with communication is towing the line of, like you had mentioned, this is her business. So you want to do what she wants, and she did not hire you to keep her business the same. She hired you to make her business grow.
Yeah.
So sometimes that means those conversations where you're like, does this make sense?
Mhm.
Almost where you're saying no, but you're not saying no. You're saying, yes, I like that idea. How does that work
Mhm.
with what you're already doing now?
Right.
Or yes, I think that sounds great. And I feel like this is more urgent than what you're doing.
Yeah.
And sometimes the most important role that we have as admins is keeping them in their lane.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to stray.
Yeah.
For an agent, their biggest distraction, the thing they don't want to do the most is their lead gen. And so protecting that time and figuring out your agent's quirks on how to protect that time, because sometimes means being the boss a little bit and no, can't do that today. Have you moved your calls? Or hey, that's something that I should be doing for you so that you can close your calls.
Yeah.
Which is uncomfortable at first because that means holding them. And that's one of the biggest, I feel like, tough things to wrestle with at first with an admin is, oh, there's a new level of accountability I haven't been used to.
Yeah.
Because there is somebody who's willing to do all the things I used to do to distract myself when I didn't do this.
Yeah. Mhm.
So do you
Yeah.
feel like your agents have that time blocked out for their lead generation?
So she's been without an admin for a good year, but before that she had one, so she's been behind on a lot of stuff. So at the moment she's still, there's a lot of catch up,
Yeah.
and so she's gotten used to doing that stuff herself. But so she's like, oh, I gotta stop doing that, you know. So I think she catches it herself. But also, since just 3 weeks in, I'm still learning what's not her job, what is mine. So still catching up.
Well, the basics of their 20% are lead generation,
Yeah.
lead follow-up, showing houses, going on appointments, and negotiating offers.
Mhm.
And going to closing.
Yeah.
That's it. So if it falls outside of that realm of things, and that's like a great, just basic 5, that's like their 5. If it falls outside of that, it should be.
You're right. Pretty neat.
And that's saying, keep them in their 20%. They,
That's the
Amy
language
will
that they
know.
know. Amy will know. She'll
She'll know
say,
that.
Yeah.
your 20% is negotiating.
Oh my gosh, hold on.
Lead generation, lead follow-up, writing contracts, and going on. And I would include going to closing on that. It's important that they are with their clients at closing as much as possible. Will things happen where they can't be and they want you to go for them? Yes. But that should not be the ideal. It's just, in my opinion, distasteful to a client at the end of closing. That person that they love and know.
Yeah.
If
right?
it's something like life happens, if they're out of town, if they
Yeah.
get sick, like things happen, but this should always be the goal. So if it falls out of that, that's when you say this is not your 20%. And a lot of times it takes reminding them what their 20% is.
What's
This
the
is your-
80%?
The 80% everything.
everything else.
Everything else. If it's not that, it's not their 20%. Because all that 20% is what generates income.
Got it.
Those are the income building activities, not as their main job. When an agent gets to a point where they can hire an admin, they need to only be doing income generating activities. And then checking in with you, especially, do you know if her goal is to eventually have a team or if she just wants it to be her?
Oh, yeah, so she had a team, she's had a team, and then she just recently went back down to one, and then, yeah, she'll look for her. In fact, she wants me to get licensed and get on her team eventually, but I'm just focusing on this one.
Because this is a great foundational, a great foundation.
Yeah.
Of setting that foundation again.
Yeah.
And making sure before other agents are added, that there's comfort there, you're on her own 20%.
Exactly.
Because once you add other agents, it's even harder to make sure everybody's in their 20%, not just the team leader. All right. how do you feel like the timelines are when they ask for things? Do you feel like there's a realistic expectation on how long it would take you to get something done?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I do. Eileen has been very gracious, especially with mistakes and, me needing a little extra time to get acclimated to everything, especially coming from a position where I wasn't even like in an office at all to fully immersed in it. So she's been very helpful. She's been guiding me in everything. So she's been really good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So where do you guys feel like you need the most training where you're at right now?
Streamlining things, like based off of like the way the old admin did things and just, there's been changes, just, because it's been over a year. Like I'm looking at this checklist of when they did a listing or when they did, a new contract or something, all the steps that they did, I'm just like, she's like, well, we don't do that anymore. Really? Well, we don't do that. Now we do it this way or this way. So we're kind of going through together.
Do you have paper checklists or everything online?
Both.
Okay.
Like we printed out, put it on the folder. She still kind of likes the paper. She's a paper girl. Yeah. And so there's a lot of that.
What does y'all's system look like? Do you have everything on paper checklists? Do you have everything digital? Is it still being formed?
It's still being formed. That was the big thing that she wanted me to work on was getting her systems together.
Okay.
And writing out a system of procedures and stuff like that for her. But it's taking a little time because I'm still trying to learn how to do everything. So, and she's, obviously very gracious with that. So
Yeah.
that's
What?
I think
Are you using Google Sheets or are you using a specific system? What is your preferred digital method of checklist?
we use Google Sheets.
Google Sheets?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're using Excel?
Well, yeah, we use the Google Sheets and like I was just figuring out how to get all her computers on, the Google Drive pull up on all of hers because we were saving, downloading to desktops and
Oh gosh.
I was seeing like, oh, well, we downloaded on that. We have to go with this computer. So we got that going. And so it's just, that kind of stuff. But she had already the Google Drive going.
Yeah, it just needs to be revamped.
Yeah. So email templates, things like that. Just kind of refreshing those types of things. And just knowing like what needs to be sent, when.
So a good rule of thumb for checklists is if you do it, well, for anything, if you do it more than twice, you probably need a checklist for where it needs to be on. And then you get reminders for it because it's something that's going to start happening eventually.
Yeah.
If the agent or the client asks you a question, then it needs to be on the checklist of something that going forward you do proactively before they might have the chance to ask it. So whether it's now, not always in that realistic, you will always have super hypey clients that want to ask every single day about the showing that happened 5 minutes ago, and that's okay. Also having boundaries for your clients so they understand your working hours as an admin is very important. And having a system so they know what to expect and when to expect it. So maybe that's for listing, they only get showing feedback. Showing feedback is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And so they can expect a phone call mid-morning, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with the latest feedback, especially if it's a high activity home. If it's one that's going to take a while, maybe it's Monday. So you have check-in at the beginning of the week, check-in at the end of the week, and you sprinkle a call from the agent in once a week on Wednesday or something. But giving them also expectations. That also protects your time so that they're not expecting something from you on a Tuesday afternoon when you need that time for something.
Yeah.
Protecting your hours is very important. Time blocking, specific times. Do you do listings and transaction coordination for your agent? Do you have time specifically in your calendar only for listings and for transaction coordination?
No.
That is a very big game changer.
Okay.
If you block up and you let your agent know that, and you share your calendar with them of these are the hours I'm reserving for listing work. Like on Thursdays, most people like to listen to live on Thursdays. So having a chunk of your day just for listings on Thursdays and nothing else saves you a lot of time. And that way, your agent walks in and they have another project they would like you to be doing, then you can open up your calendar and say, this is my time block for all of your contracts, this is my time block for all of your listings. Where in here should we put this? Or where should we schedule a meeting so that it's not disrupting your day? Because once you're in a flow, the minute you get interrupted, it's so much work to get through.
Okay.
So it's so much, you will work so efficiently that way.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And just almost blocking their calls, not blocking their calls, but just letting them know, unless it's urgent, let's wait and talk till after noon on Thursday so I can make your listings.
Yeah.
That way they also know the value of your time. And that should be a time thing. So that could be I need you to be leading from 9 to 11. I'm going to be doing listing input 9 to 11, 11 to 12, and you can jump in, ask whatever you want.
Mhm.
But having that protected time in the morning is so important.
Okay.
As far as listings and transactions are going, how are you feeling with those? Do you feel like your checklist is comprehensive? Do you feel like it's lacking a lot? Have you done a full listing yourself before?
Yeah, I've done a few,
Okay.
but yeah, it's pretty big.
Like ours are big too.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it's like the listing, but then it's also beyond the listing, like,
Yeah. What's the follow-up in the client care and open house protocol?
oh, the
If
open
it
house
has
isn't
to
even
come
on
on.
here. But yeah. I guess if I had another one somebody else's to look at, maybe I can
email you.
compare.
I can
Then,
too. Okay. I love you. Have a great call.
Thank you.
Chelsea and I worked together for many, many years.
Yes.
She's been admin too. We
Yes.
used to be admins together. Then you left me. You went into.
Yes. So we do all of our checklists on Google Sheets, and there's a way that you can add, I can't remember what it's called. I believe it's on Tools, where you can notify, there's like an add-on you can get to where if you put a date on something, it'll automatically email you to remind you to get it done that day. That alone is a time and game changer. So everything we have is digital. I keep all my seller notes in one place, all of the basic information if someone calls in to ask about the property at the top. And then all of our email templates are in here if we need them. This is like really zoomed out. Oh my goodness. Obviously there are disk information, so I know who I'm calling. But there is a way that you can put a date in this column, and on that day it will email you first thing in the morning. So you will get in your inbox.
Yes.
It's under extensions.
It's under extensions.
Yeah, add-ons.
Yeah, add-on.
And then you can get add-ons for it. And it's not on this computer, but there are add-ons for reminders. And that was a game changer, because then all you have to do for your listings and for your contracts is, as soon as the contract is started, the listing is started, you add your dates in, and you open your email every morning and tells you what to do. So you don't have to go through and check this file every day like I used to do, because I would be terrified that I'd forgotten something, that I was missing something. It was that confidence of, I've done it, I can check it off, and if I can't do it today, I put a new time in and do it later. But even things that, like, when a question comes up, and like this one we learned from, if a home it's been less than 180 days since they bought the home, it is not FHA eligible. We learned that the hard way when we listed a home. We got an FHA contract and realized we could not accept the offer because of it. And we were able to negotiate with the buyers and the sellers enough to extend it just past the eligibility limit. So but they had to wait like 3.5 more months to sell their home. And so just things like that. Now we know, let's check that before we list a house. I also keep all my communication with my agent in here too about this listing. So that way I can scroll in and check at the top, what have my sellers been saying? What has the agent been wanting for this? All in one place. So you can put everything in here. I get as detailed as you can. And we can share ours too. Like, this is not secret information.
So is this something that, like, am I supposed to hire an admin when
You
I
can't
like?
just pay me. I do, but that's something I offer. I offer listing services. So for teams, oftentimes, like if the contracts, you have a lot of under contract homes and it's like, we just don't have time this week for one more listing.
Yeah.
Then there are other resources. So like in your case, you're a single agent, you are more like, you use Hannah for your TC.
Right.
You could always reach out to me and this is what I do for you.
All
as
of
well.
that.
All of that stuff. Or there's like a little bit more of a basic version. This is if you want client care too. You want it to look really like get all these fancy emails.
Yeah.
But even just things like, what would make my agent
look really good.
They-
What would make them look great is if you get a seller warranty through 210 for your listing coverage, have that in a whole separate email to the client. Hey, Amy just ordered you this custom listing warranty for the duration of your home until it goes, until it sells. In case anything happens, this is what it means. So is it something that we're paying for? No. Like if something goes wrong, you'd be paying closing, but most times. However, it looks like this huge added bonus that your agent has had for their client. And it's another step to make the whole process just feel like you're holding your hand and you're doing lots of things for them.
This is amazing. You're willing to share this?
She's like, "Are you
This is how we did,
Yeah.
what we would do at other market centers. Like, we were all doing the same thing. There's no reason this should be secret, you know? I'll send you my big one, not
You
mine.
put a lot of effort into it.
I've been doing this for a long time.
And I don't hire you, like, I don't have to do this by myself.
Yes.
Yeah, you're hired.
You just tell me when you get a listing and you need it. But we do it for open houses. I have price improvement checklists, and then I have a separate one that also has like the withdrawal steps on how to withdraw a property, because that happens sometimes too. But something else that is very handy with when markets shift and a home is on the market more than 14 days,
Yeah.
is being
Every
that
14
reminder
days.
every 14 days of emailing your agent and saying, hey, this property's been on the market for over 14 days now, and pulling comps for them to say, this is what the neighborhood looks like right now, this is what the area around it looks like right now. It's probably a good time to do a call and have a price conversation. And learning just to pull very basic comps for that is really helpful and really handy. Usually it's go back through the neighborhood in the last 6 months, and in the local area, probably the high school district, and similar bedrooms and bathrooms for the past 30 to 90 days, depending on how much is going on. We'll give them kind of an update on pricing, if anything has shifted, what has sold, how much is it sold for. So I will share this with you guys. I'll get your emails at the end. We can.
I want to
Thank you.
Of course, of course.
Amazing.
Do you guys also do listing packets like before they go on?
Yes.
Okay, how has that felt for you? Are you pulling the comps or is she pulling comps?
She's pulling the comps
Okay.
right now. I assume that's probably going to transfer over to me once I get my standing a little bit
Yeah.
better, but, yeah.
It might be helpful for you to find out like how she's pulling them, just to see how she thinks.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
so
Because if you could learn how she thinks, because my biggest thing as an admin was trying to figure out how my agent thought
How
about
they
stuff.
had-
Because I would always, okay, this is what I think you should pull. And then she thought totally different. So once I figured out how she thought, I was able, she'd say, I have a listing appointment. I'd be like, okay, what's the address? And I would do all of the things based on how she would previously pull it. And then sometimes their scenarios may change,
Yeah.
just depending on the house, but
But there's,
that was helpful.
yeah, there's like, there's things that like, you can
Learn.
pull that you don't even need to know how she does it with the information, which records
Yeah.
but exactly what she said, learning it, not just how to pull comps, but how your agent pulls comps, because they're gonna come in and look at it and say, I want it to look like this. And for a while in the beginning, it's gonna be that. It's gonna be you pulling comps and then changing it, which is fine, until you start to understand the difference. And maybe there's a point where that's just something that they're very comfortable with, and they like doing that because then they feel more prepared going into the appointment. That's great, as long as it's not taking away, if they have a week with a ton of listing appointments, then that might be something you sit down and say, how about I help comps for you? Because that's just, it's taking away so much time from continually getting.
Yeah.
And if you know that they're gonna get it, like if this is one of their past clients, they always get a listing with this person, go ahead and start inputting in FMLS. You can put the basics in beforehand, like all the information that you can that you don't need pictures for, then that saves you so much time later, especially in a week where there's more listings or a lot of contracts and that has been the biggest lifesaver. Do you guys use Ditto for Georgia?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's all.
But you can't use Ditto until you've already listed it.
Unless it's coming soon or active. So if you do a coming soon property, then once it's coming soon in FMLS, it still can pull from that
It
number.
can-
But yeah, it has to be active. So that's usually I will pre-list an FMLS as much as I can, and then once it's up, I'll just do it.
So you'll do coming soon quite a bit.
Have you ever used Remind and Edit? That's the new service that they just came out where if you put it in FMLS, it dittos it over to Georgia.
I feel like I tried Remind, but it was not recent. in the past was super clunky and it messed
Yeah,
up.
it's something.
So I'm just super comfortable with Ditto right now.
So, yeah, it's something that they just came out with and now you can sign up, because they just sent me an email about it on Thursday last week at Red Day. And I haven't played around in it to see how it works yet, but I was just wondering if anybody else has used it.
I'll play around with it. Actually, let me write that down. I'm thinking about it. I will play around with it and see. I do know the biggest thing is do whatever your strength is in. So like if Ditto is not your thing and Remind is your mind. If Remind is not your thing and Ditto is that. If whatever system, as long as it makes you efficient is what you should be using. It doesn't matter what anybody else is, as long as the work gets done what it needs to.
Yeah.
And it's streamlined well.
Make it easier on yourself if you don't have to
Mhm.
duplicate, reinvent the wheel and
Yes.
go into one and put everything in and then go into another and put everything in. It's just not it's a time
So
waster.
the residential input, like forms that she filled out seem to not match like what's in FMLS so much.
Residential input form. I'm curious what that looks like, because there used to be a dual entry form.
That's what it is.
That's what she used. But it seems,
I know,
No, so
it's just
I
not
would
as
use those to
intricate
look
as
at.
it is on
It's great to have details from
Yeah.
your agent on what is the house like.
yeah,
But most of the time, I don't get any information until I get pictures.
okay.
So I got the basics. I know what the bedrooms and bathrooms are, and I know the spaces. That's usually about all I know. And a lot of times it's good to search the old listing, like when the home sold before, to just, if you don't have pictures or your agent hasn't walked you through it, what is the layout of them? Like, what are the basics, the things that would not have changed? Yeah, is there a basement? Is there a backyard? Is there a yard?
Yeah.
Is there a garage? Just basic things you can go ahead and have put in. And then trying to think what else. What else you do? I feel like it's so, I do it all the time, to like sit and think like, okay, how do I explain the things that I've just gotten so used to doing at this point? Where do you feel like there are any other challenges or areas that you just want more training or information on that maybe your agent doesn't have time for? Do you feel comfortable with like the marketing and branding of your agent so far? Or do you feel like that's an area that needs a lot of help?
She does a lot of that.
Okay.
Like, I think she's pretty well known.
I do a lot of her marketing now. It definitely was a lot of her telling me in the beginning how she liked it, but I'm starting to get the hang of it, where she's
That's good.
tweaking less and less each day.
Yeah. That's always the biggest win. You're like, I can buy everything again. The feedback is getting shorter and shorter. All right. What other things do you guys?
I don't know how to read my district thing. I pulled it up.
Did you really?
What says hormone? It says your harmonizer.
Is that a disc?
That's why I'm like, I don't
I
understand.
don't know if that's a bit. Yeah. Did you take it for the market? Let me see.
Congratulations.
Wait for Dr. Moore. Oh, is the Tony Robbins one?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
We have to open it up probably.
I did.
Oh,
Yeah, she's a big paper person and I can't print from my computer.
Why?
It doesn't work. Every time I try to print, it's error. It's error.
You have a Mac, right?
I have the Mac.
We can print from the back computer, but the front computer.
I thought the front computer was a Mac.
It's weird.
Let me look at it when I'm.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know why it says this, Steve.
So how do you,
I'll have to look at it in a minute. See if I can find email it to me. I'll probably be able to figure it out.
how do you, do like, the marketing for like a quick, easy, just sold or just under contract or whatever for Facebook or Instagram and stuff like
Usually just through, well, you have everything like pre-made in Canva, so everything is just pop and go through the same. You need to have the same visual for everything, so that when they see it just listed, they know that it's, your agent's just listed, because it looks the same every time.
that?
With our,
You just changed.
I will say less is more, and that's something that, Chelsea and I have chatted about before too, of you gotta be careful how much information, especially the just listed you put out there. If this is an essay, no, it's not. And there are so many, again, high eye agents who want to describe this home because they love it. They've seen it, they know how to market it, they know what would sell it. But in
They're like, oh,
in
you
the
gotta say
social
that.
media code,
Like, we know that social media is a scrolling game now, and so you need something that catches an eye and that draws
Stop
people
scrolling.
in, and is less reading, and that makes them want to click a link. So when it's live in FMLS, you can get a link to share that people can click, and it takes them to the one home portal, branded to your agent, so they can flip through all the property homes, and it's not gonna say that annoying, like, make an account to see all the pictures that everybody hates, you know? But it
From
still
the
gives them.
FMLS link, send them to their website,
It sends
or-
it to an FMLS link with
from the
that.
social media to the FMLS.
So
That's
whenever I do a just listed post, I'll usually post 3 to 5 pictures of the inside of the house, like the front, a couple of the kitchen, the master bedroom, the living room, and maybe like the back deck. Brief couple bullet points about the house with emojis in there, grab people's eyes, and then if they want to see more, obviously list price needs to be in there. But if they want to see more, they click that link and it takes them to that landing page through FMLS. And that way they can see all the information. At the very top is all the agent's information.
Good, yeah, okay,
That is so, it pulls people in more.
yeah,
Because we've done it before where it takes you to Keller Williams page for that listing.
yeah.
And it was fine, but we got a lot of complaints because the minute you would go past picture number 3, it would make you register.
Yeah,
Which if you're doing all of this, ads on Facebook, maybe that's great because you'll actually get leads from it. But if it's just to your personal, like their sphere, like those are their friends and family, they should be talking to already. Like we do not need to overly be too salesy on their personal Facebook and Instagram account, or people aren't ever going to look at these houses. They're just gonna go look it up on Zillow. I would rather them look at our FMLS link than Zillow. Because Zillow will advertise a random agent. This will at least advertise us.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So for the just listed 3 to 5 pictures.
And I even send that link to the seller as soon as it goes live. What
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because she wanted a flyer. Okay. She didn't have anything. I was trying to help brand you. I was like, no, you need stuff.
Yeah.
But again, like they have their own personal
great.
style
Yeah,
and like what it needs to look like your agent's personality.
Okay. Yeah.
But you did, I will say,
What?
you went to a
Oh, look at
I know.
You didn't even tell me.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I did.
And you're hiring a new admin, so.
I did.
I love her logo. It's so
It's very
cute.
cute. I will say I did like thank you. I sent you out like 12, and you honestly first one I did not think yours. But you like, yeah. There was
Okay.
another one that I was like, oh, that one, but it's all like, but it feels like you, it doesn't need to feel like me. But yeah, I'll send that link to the FMLS link in a like congratulations to call.
What did I do? I
email.
screenshot
The sellers can see their own house, the way
Yeah.
the buyers are seeing it, and also gives you like a quick window of like, do they want anything changed? If your agent does coming soon, it is good to send that coming soon as a buyer, not an agent, but buyer printout to the sellers in case there's like, you didn't mention the 2-story foyer grand staircase. Then who knows why it's important to them? Maybe they loved watching their kids walk down it, but to them, that's the selling feature of the house.
Wait, I didn't, what,
That's
that again, a
the-
buyer printout? What do you mean?
When you're in FMLS,
Yeah.
you click print for the listing,
Uh-huh.
it's like a million options.
Oh, okay.
I'll do a buyer full because the agent full will have all of the commission information, agent detail things. They just don't need to worry about what it says. But the buyer full gives them the important details of how that house is looking for. So sometimes it's nice for them to look at that and go ahead and give you feedback
Okay.
off of that before it's active on the market if you do it coming soon. If you're just gonna do it when it just goes live, then I would just send that to Leslie, the way you would post it publicly.
Okay.
That way they can see it online again through our lens a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times they'll say this or make sure to mention the HVAC is brand new or something that maybe they forgot to tell the agent that, oh wait, actually this is a selling.
That they think is really important.
And sometimes that's something I ask when I would call the client in the like, welcome to our team. My name's Jessica. I'm so-and-so's admin. What made you fall in love with your home when you first bought it? So to help just amplify the marketing we're doing. Usually anything they say there is something they expect to already be marketed. So it's like a way to start a conversation while also kind of figuring out what they're already expecting that they might not tell you if you didn't ask.
Cause then they'd be like, why didn't you say anything about X, Y, and Z? But if you have the conversation first,
Yeah.
then you know that that's the main thing for them.
Yes.
But,
There.
Number one sweet tea in the whole county.
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Didn't know that. Don't live in that county, but cool.
What was helpful for me, with training with Jess was,
We used to also work on a team together.
yeah, was, learning about tango. And it was a helpful tool for me because I would sit with her, she would teach me how to do certain things like entering a listing, and it was able to record and capture screenshots of each step and give me directions of what I was doing so that I could use it as a resource to go back to that PDF and say, okay, what did I do next here again? And it would
Yeah,
show
Tango
that.
is awesome. So, and that's something too, to sit down with your agent and do, so that way if they want to train you in something once, it automatically makes a PDF of everything that you've clicked and it captions it for you. And then you can go back and you can tweak and add things to it, but that was the biggest help. And when we did our national team that I worked on too, that was a big training thing, was making one for how to input a listing, one for how to pull comps. And it's just called Tango, and it just goes on Google Chrome, and you can hit start record. It's so helpful, and it saves a lot of time. But that's also, like you mentioned, you were trying to build up systems, and you can just clean things up. It's like you get hit by a bus full, which sounds awful, but if you got hit by a bus today, could somebody else come in and pick up right where you left off? And that was the way that we formatted a lot of the teams that I had to revamp, was if someone calls in sick, or the agent normally does something that now somebody else has to come in and do, is there a checklist someone could come in and step by step be able to follow without asking questions and be able to find it all? And things like Tango were the easiest way to have that checklist almost made for you with visuals, so like pictures, so you could see this is what we're clicking on. Because it's hard to be able to move quickly and efficiently when you've never seen something before. So that's really helpful too. I probably just should make those for basic stuff. Just have them there.
That would be awesome if we could have it in the agent resource page,
Yeah.
for sure. Because a lot of people are like, I'm here now, what do I do next? And it's like, oh, if only you had it,
I know. I made so many for the last team I was on. I just gotta do them all again. So
what
I'm
fun.
on a team now, I know. Start all over again. Yeah, I'm so glad you mentioned that. That was really good.
That was like a really big help. It's helpful for me now
Mhm.
in the role that I'm in now because I'm still learning things, and as new things come out and I'm trying it out, and I'm like, oh, this is how it works. And then I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
open up Tango, do it again. And then it screen shares, and I can share that document with people that are like, how do I do this? And I'm like, how do you do it? Send you a PDF and it's got the step by step. And it's free.
Yeah, it's free, which is even better.
Yeah.
That's my goal. It's like all of our systems have to be free.
Yes.
I'm not paying for anything.
Free fun.
Right.
We like free fun.
Yes, I don't want to pay for anything. The only thing we do pay for is Canva.
Right. Yeah.
I think that's great.
That was something we worked a long time on, was making all new buyer and listing presentations that actually fit our agents, like the 10 commandments of buying a home. That was so much fun. I've had a hard time.
That sounded really
Not
good.
shop,
Not
not buy a
not
car.
car.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot. She's so couldn't get one. Or like just the checklist of like what should you do to make your home list like ready for a showing?
Showing ready.
What are some things, especially with your high speed clients, they want a checklist of things to follow. And it can be as detailed or as simplified as you want, but we have one that we put in our listing packets of what to do to be ready for a showing. And I'll typically also attach that document, just that one page, to the congratulations you're on the market. Just so you remember, these are some tips that we have that make the home really beautiful for when clients walk in. So it's like, Chelsea's secret is take a little bowl of water, drop a little drop or two of vanilla extract, microwave it. It smells like you're just baked cookies in your house. And like have light music. Oh my gosh, it's great. But like little things
I
like
do all
that
that.
are great.
That's what I'm good at, not the stuff that I could.
Make sure you mow the yard. Yeah, mow the lawn. Open the curtains, hide any trash.
Scoop the litter box.
Yeah.
Jeff, someone just posted this, I don't know if you know anything about it, but this agent posted, June 1st, new $15,000 assistance program opens for the following counties. She listed the counties, Gwinnett's one of them. It must be first time homeowner.
Is it like a loan program?
She's an agent, I don't know what this is about, but I'm just wondering. So I'm dealing with a lot of clients that are, including myself, like, newly divorced clients. We're not, so I've never actually bought a house just by myself. Would I be considered a first time homeowner?
I mean,
If
well,
you
the
were
first
on the
time,
loan,
yeah.
you were on the loan.
I've been on the loan, so I would not be considered a first time homeowner. Okay, just to, I feel like.
You're doing first time by yourself.
By myself.
But there's also, like, some people will consider, like, if it's a first time home buyer to in order to qualify for something, I probably wouldn't. But would I describe you as one? Probably, because you don't know the process.
Right.
Because you've never really, like, paid attention to it. So, like, if I was gonna describe you, I would probably say, yeah, you're a first time home buyer, but on
But not for
paper,
those
would you
credit.
qualify
Mhm.
for it? Probably not. Right, yeah. Wish.
I know.
I'm in that boat too.
You are.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Not fun.
So.
I have 5 years to refinance. Actually, done.
So for the listing checklist that you have, don't you have something on there for withdrawals and stuff like?
I do. This is my one for other people's listings that I do.
Oh,
The one that I have, like when I was only working for Chelsea, I have that. So that's the one that I'll send to you guys with all of the things on it. These are just the two packages that I offer to people who, like, individual agents or teams that need to just outsource a couple listings. So
Do you also have a list of what you put in those packets, the seller, the
Yeah.
buyer?
I can send that to you.
Glad I came to this class.
I share everything. And if
Everybody
there's something that
should.
you have that you're just like, I feel like I don't know what to do, then just send it to, and I am more than happy to look things over. Or,
What's your email address?
I'll just give you one of my flyers. It has my information on it. It'll be easiest.
That works too.
And two, if y'all ever get these out, there's one thing. You let me know. But yeah, anytime you need anything, or even just like if you need to call me and be like, I need help. Oh, I'll give it. Because I told Dara I would give her one because she wanted to have one in the office.
yeah, I wanna, can you send it to me so I can post it on our Facebook page?
I sure can. I work from, so I'm like hardly here. I have two little boys on my and they are my life. So, but I do very part-time for Chelsea, and then I do this for people because it gives me that nice work-life balance.
Scratches
To
the
be
itch.
able, scratches the itch because I do love this stuff, but it lets me go to story time and when I want to, with the boys as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you need anything, please don't hesitate to call or text or email, all the things.
Okay.
Or if you ever want to sit down and go through and say, can you just read my checklist with me and we can make sure we're not missing anything, we can do that too.
Yeah, I have a hard time distinguishing how to make the different Instagram versus Facebook posts, even though it flat out tells me on Canva, it still seems to not work out. Either that or when I send it to Amy, she somehow doesn't, I don't know where the translation is getting lost.
Why is it not this? What am I forgetting?
What?
I'm trying to type in Canva, but.
What's going on with that? What is that?
I don't know. Maybe I need.
Scroll down to the bottom of that page. Oh, click on.
Oh, it's this
More.
thing, isn't it?
Mhm. Got
Got it.
Okay.
Sorry. I had my copies wearing off. Let's open it for a bit and look. I need to remember.
Explain to me why there are cardboard, like why they don't just put.
It's just how they used to construct homes. It was cheaper. That's probably why.
Kidding,
No,
just add a
it's
garage
in.
door.
It's already open in Jess.
Your Canva is?
No, yours.
I haven't logged into Canva yet, but.
No, see, it says leveraging.
Yeah, but I use Chelsea's account a lot of times. That's
Oh.
one that I want to look at, actually find her login. That's where like all my super detailed ones are. Remember her password. There's too many passwords. That's a big thing too, passwords.
I have my passwords. I can pull it out right now.
Everybody has passwords. I feel like they're everywhere. Also, something I learned,
keep up with their CE, like log into their grid, maybe that's like a once or twice a year to make sure that they are doing the CE they need before their renewal. Cannot tell you the number of times I've worked for, I'm talking about an agent that forgot until it was a month before she had to renew her license, and she still needed 36 CE hours, and I spent weeks just taking CE classes for her, which I'm not thinking that person is probably.
What?
Taking them for.
Yeah, it was probably not right, but
She was just kidding.
I was totally kidding. That was a joke, ladies and gentlemen.
She was telling us, but not really hard. She's a comedian.
If you didn't pick up that sarcasm, it's on you, ladies and gentlemen. Like, where's the email for? Oh, here it is. Girl, so that's why you stay on top of it and you say, hey, you should probably take a CE class this year. Here, I found like,
Hey, they have this class. I'm doing for it.
Yeah, all you gotta do is sit there. Oh, I need Chelsea to look at her phone, but she don't have a call. Okay, I might have to just do that on my laptop, which is fine. I love and hate two-step verification.
Right.
I know.
It's so annoying. Oh my goodness, but I have it on here, so I can just pull it up on here. You probably won't see this. All right. So I have usually, do you have the paid version of Canva? So I'll usually have a folder that's just the listing and sold marketing. And they have the different, like we have our flyers and then we have stories, graphics. And then for just the post on Facebook and Instagram, if it's not for, because I could just list it, I don't use these, I just use the pictures. Like 3 to 5 pictures of the home itself with a good caption.
And then how does it show up?
So with this, you can download and you can, when you go to Facebook,
Yeah.
are you doing a Facebook page or is it her personal page?
So she does it on, she's got her personal page that she has way more people on her personal page.
Most people do.
And so she does it a lot, her personal page.
Mhm.
And then on her, on her personal one.
So with her personal one, do you have like her Instagram on your phone or do you just do everything on the computer?
She doesn't use her Instagram very much, but she wants to start
Okay.
it up again.
With the business page, you can post through Meta Business Suite on Facebook and it'll post to both at the same time and both stories.
Okay.
So I can just upload like the stories graphic and post it and it goes to both. I
Okay.
can do the just listed post and it goes to both.
Stories.
I can show you what Meta looks like.
Yeah, I just
I'm gonna
launched
watch
it
that.
yesterday.
But this is for a Facebook page. If it was her personal account, then you would just log in as her.
Yeah.
You have to manually do the story.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm gonna start doing to her team.
her business page, yeah. Because that's where like all of her reviews would show up.
Yeah.
Which is also great.
And I should probably send all of her personal friends, like an invite to her
Yeah.
page. Okay.
So right on the side here under more tools, there's Meta Business Suite. That's what you want to hit.
Hmm.
And you can create post, a reel, or a story, and it will go both to Facebook and Instagram. So then you can just create it. And if any of the pictures are not formatted to Instagram, it will let you know and it'll give you whatever size it needs to be for Instagram. So if it's like a little too tall, it'll let you crop it just a little bit so it fits Instagram.
Okay.
So you can post to both at the same time, or you can just post to one. If you join any Facebook groups on that business page, you can also post to any groups,
Okay.
which I'm sure she has groups. She would probably want the page to be in. Okay. But that's it. Or you can customize it and make it different for Facebook and Instagram. If you want Facebook to say one thing and Instagram to say a lot less, you could.
So don't screenshot your things that you sent me.
Download it and post. And then same thing with stories. Creating a story is great. You just pop it in there and it uploads it. Or and you can also schedule them. So if she has posts she wants
Yeah.
throughout the week,
Yeah.
you can do them on Monday morning. And then you're good to go.
Oh my
is
gosh.
also
Have you
great.
ever done any scheduling posts through through command campaigns?
No. It's just it's hard to see we tried campaigns when I worked on a different team and it just didn't get the return. Like we don't really do ads and things either. So like the campaigns, when we tried them with ads, if that's your business model, then it probably would be good to link it through command.
But
But
what
our
about
speed
social
was hard.
posts?
It was just faster and easier to do it there, especially with Canva design. And it was just easier for me to look at from a big picture. Anything else that'd be helpful to you guys?
How effective is the email from MailChimp that goes out?
Do you guys do like a monthly newsletter?
Yeah.
It just depends what you're putting in it. Cause I do Chelsea's monthly emails. Try, what do you put in yours, I guess?
Well, I've only done one of them before. It was just like, she only put in the client event that she